those who can, please stand as we welcome your beautiful bride and her entourage.
Shirt tucked in, yeah.
Hand ring the bell. Okay, let them ring out, everybody.
Hey. Oh. Hello. Hello. There we go. Hey. Hey. You okay? You guys sit down.
That's it, over there.
Hello. You're beautiful.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry.
Rice prerogative.
We were early, so that's fine. You're hot.
That's brilliant that we got to play all the way through, to be fair. Yeah. If you've got a dry eye, please take a seat. Okay. Do you want to hand your flowers over? Do you want to sweep it to your side?
Yeah, sweeping. Okay.
Yeah.
No, not yet. No, not yet. Save it.
So rude.
Move here so everybody can see them. Welcome everyone to the best wedding yet. A wedding that no one will ever forget. My name is Michelle, I'm your funky celebrant and I will be hosting proceedings today. Steve and Joe are thrilled to have you all with them, celebrating their special day. Be sure to laugh, cringe, heckle if you must, but be prepared to join in with gusto as we celebrate the best of days in the best of ways, with love and joy in your hearts. With absolutely no explanation or apology, let's start the ceremony as we mean to go on. Harry loved Betty, and Betty loved Harry. So Harry said, Betty, my beauty, let's marry. Let's have a wedding, the best wedding yet. A wedding that no one will ever forget. Don't panic. I'm not going to read out the whole book, but suffice to say, when planning the best wedding yet, thoughts often rewind to how a couple fell in love, and even back to how, where and when they met. Again, don't panic, this ceremony isn't going to be full of rhyming couplets. Just a story about a couple who met, fell in love, and decided to put everyone out of their misery after years together and throw the best wedding ever. So where did they begin? It all started many moons ago, January 2012 to be precise, when Joe, looking a bit umpa-lumperish orange, resplendent in fake tan, was out on the pool with the girls. It was all Janice's fault. Where's Janice? She had decided for her birthday night out that all the girls should dress up with fake tan, short dresses and high heels before they hit the alternative bars of Chelmsford. Now, Jo said she'd never seen Towie or put on fake tan up to this point, so interpreted what she thought a typical Towie girl should look like. Lucky for you lot, or should I say Jo, I have no photographic evidence. Or do I? Thanks, Hayley.
Oh my god, I'm not kept that under wraps.
As this is a PG-12 ceremony, I will just say that the girls were sufficiently lubricated by the time they hit basement, one of their regular haunts. Now, Steve was also out that night with his mates, fake tan free, but also well lubricated, when this vision of orange loveliness floaty-tottered into his eyeline. We're not sure if it was the fake tan, the short skirt, or the heels that won him over. But he moved in with a corny chat-up line, and she was sufficiently impressed to let him buy her a drink before he peacocked and strutted his own funky moves on the dance floor and won her over. For that night at least. Steve often refers to their meeting as being akin to being missold PPI. Joe prefers to acknowledge it as he should have read the small print. It's not always what you see is what you get. Anyway, being the laid-back lad that he is, Steve kept her waiting for a whole 5 months. Yes, you heard that correctly, 5 months. Before he asked her out on an official first date. There was lots of texting and bumping into each other in the interim, and Joe secretly rather liked the fact that Steve was playing hard to get. He kept her on her toes. And to be fair, it made her like him even more. Eventually, though, in June that year, after months of skirting around each other, Steve finally arranged to meet Jo at Chelmsford train station and took her for drinks around some of his favourite haunts. They had a cracking first date, and despite the long text message exchange beforehand, they still found plenty to talk about. To the extent they were actually thrown out of the pub at closing. Time had just run away with them. They're good. They found that there was a real spark and an energy which continued as Steve, ever the gentleman, walked her home, and the non-stop chatter only ended as they parted ways with a chaste kiss goodnight. That's what they told me. Within 3 weeks they were Facebook official, so it was official. We all know when it goes on Facebook, it must be true. And now, today, they celebrate 12 years and 2 days of being happily in love. They can't actually remember what life was like before they met, it was so long ago. But vague memories surface from time to time. They remember socialising without kids. Yes. The happy, heady days of doing what they wanted when they wanted. The impulsive travels to far-flung places, the need to spread one's wings, the late-night gaming sessions, and more than the odd music sesh. Oh well, they wouldn't change life for anything now. Not a nanosecond of it would be any different to how it is now. And by that I mean their wonderful little family unit. Before I talk family a bit more, let's continue with the Nostalgia Fest. It really didn't take long for all those butterflies in the stomach feelings of love to manifest. Steve just knew and was quietly content he'd bagged himself a keeper. Jo fell hard quite quickly. but was questioning herself a little bit too. She was, after all, a die-hard commitment foe who was more interested in backpacking around Southeast Asia than she was in settling down. And there was a little bit of self-doubt too. What if she frightened him off? There would be no more dancing in the aisles in Tesco, the world would be a little less colourful, and she worried that there'd be a Steve-shaped hole in the wall as he exited rather sharply when he realised her natural skin tone wasn't actually bright orange now that the south tan had worn off. As we all know, though, there was nothing to worry about at all. And in fact, it was Jo who said those 3 little words first after Steve had helped her and her housemates move house. He wasn't going anywhere in a hurry, and life happily continued on its colour-infused course. The following year, having passed his apprenticeship for prospective partner and future husband, Jo took the plunge and agreed to them moving in together and renting their first home. Jo highlights that what they've learnt along the way is patience. A lot of patience. Steve had never cohabited before, so had to navigate the art of living with a partner and all of her stuff.
Your stuff.
He has learned to be adaptable. Jo has learned to love a rom-com. Steve introduced her to them. Not quite kicking and screaming, but she was a little dismissive of them initially. But she let her guard down, welcoming that genre of film, and as a result has an appreciation for the funny side of love. Steve has helped Jo focus and be less impulsive. She can still be a little bit gung-ho, that will never truly go away, but he has helped her finding a calmness that helps them both as they plan for the adventures of family life. And Jo has taught Steve to appreciate food from around the world. His palate and culinary skills have improved vastly as a result. So, remember I mentioned Greg Davis at the beginning of the ceremony? Well, he's also known as the host of Taskmaster. For those of you who don't know about it, it's a Channel 4 game show that pitches 5 celebrities against each other in a series of scored tasks. The winner gets a prize. Well, we don't have any celebrities here today. There are only 2 of you playing, and at the end of the day, you're playing for bragging rights only. So, I have my trusty scoreboard.
I don't know.
Okay.
Can I have a volunteer to be my score master, please?
Volunteer.
Anybody? No, he's got other jobs. Anybody?
Andy.
We've got
Right,
2 volunteers.
Okay, so it's only fair, I reckon, that I start with a food challenge for Steve. Before you have a choice of 2 blindfolds.
Oh,
Take your hat off and put one of the blindfolds on.
oh yeah, this is. I'll go Harry
Go stand
Potter.
here. Stand here.
I'll go for that. Ooh.
Can I make sure you can't see anything? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Before you have 3 bowls of food,
Oh.
and it's a point per bowl. I need you to try something from each bowl and tell me what it is or what flavours you detect.
Okay.
So come forward, come forward,
Oh.
come forward, come forward, come forward, down, 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 down. First bowl.
Crisps.
Yeah, what flavour? He's good at this, isn't he?
Ready salted.
Yeah, 1 point.
Yay.
Ready salted. Okay, next hand.
Crisps. Chicken.
Ooh, very good.
Yeah.
They're a particular kind of chicken, but I'll give you chicken.
Oh, roast chicken.
No, they're not. They're Schwalbe chicken. Whatever that is. Yeah. Okay, very good. 2 out of 2 so far. And task number 3.
Is it crisps? Piri piri?
No. Should we give him 3 goes?
Sweet chili.
No.
Spicy barbecue.
No. 2 out of 3. Margarita pizza flavour.
Oh, of course.
Okay, take your blindfolds off. Right.
All right. Wasn't expecting that.
Okay. Do you want to sit down again for a second until the next task? Till the next task. Yeah. Yeah. Just till the next task.
Oh.
Make sure Joe wins.
Bring it over here and do it. That's it.
Oh yeah. I thought you were going to go and do your
I
job.
don't know what I think mine's a bit, I don't know.
Brilliant. Well done, Steve. So together they have discovered they still can't do DIY. And after that first toppings moment, walking through the door of their first fixer-upper, they realised just how much work was involved. Let him keep the pen if he wants. Let him keep it if he wants. I'll get it off him later. So they still realised how much work was involved, and then they found out they were not that good despite all of the DIY shows they'd watched. They have admitted defeat and followed that old adage, if at first you don't succeed, try again, or get a man in who knows what he's doing. And where's Steve? Steve? I have to say thank you to Steve.
Oh, do you mean Andy?
You told me Steve.
Andy.
Was it Andy? Andy. It was you then. He said Steve in here. Is that your
I'm
surname?
Steve.
I know, but
Thank
never
you,
mind.
mate. Yeah,
Andy, thank you for bailing him out all these times over all these years.
Oh,
And
So-
Will. And Will.
Yeah.
And Will.
And and
Everybody else that's
yeah.
helped.
I just don't feel like we can leave
Everybody
out.
except these two, basically. So having
think
found
that
out
was
what they've
Steve,
learned
isn't
along
it?
the way, let's see what inspires them, shall we? For Jo, she loves that Steve is hard-working and motivated. It inspires her to up her productivity too. Then there is his generous heart towards family, friends and even co-workers. But it's best displayed when he's with their girls. He has all the time in the world for them. She says watching you, Steve, interact with them makes her fall in love with you a little bit more every day. Steve says that Jo is the organised one in their partnership, planning the best days out on holidays with military precision. Speaking on behalf of himself, Ella and Sienna, whilst they don't always show their appreciation, they do appreciate everything that you do for them, and they all adore you. Together they're working hard to create their idea of perfect family life, full of happy memories, the pets and big plans for a bigger house. Sorry lads. Hopefully this house will be in the countryside with a pet goat and potentially some chickens too. And then I'm sure you all need to know the things they love most about each other on top of everything else. Steve loves that they're on the same wavelength, knowing what each other is thinking. I mean, it's crazy how they just finish each other's sandwiches. He loves that she puts up with his work mess, i.e. all the antiques, which is great as there is a lot of stuff. And for him the bonus is that she is an awesome baker. Jo too loves that they're on the same wavelength most of the time. It is a bit of a niggle too because he annoyingly knows what she is about to do and say before she does it. She is very, very happy that she's found herself a man that can cook. And she loves how he has embraced the other man in her life, Harrison Ford. In fact, right from the outset, Steve appreciated he was playing second fiddle to the great man when he bought her a model of him as Han Solo. She is winning at life for sure. So talking of Harrison, task number 2 is for Jo and Jo alone.
Oh, I don't want to do it.
Will is going to show you a series of 3 photos. Name the film from the photo.
It's so embarrassing. That one.
No?
That one.
Oh. No?
That one.
Pass, I think.
Call of the Wild.
Oh, that's in that one.
Oh.
You didn't have to
That's
perform
number
a quiz.
two.
Chris,
Go on.
so,
Oh, who's that?
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, what, Phil?
Oh, which one? From that one picture.
Raiders.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be helping that.
Oh,
That's one out of 3. Okay, and the final one?
Which Star Wars? Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ooh, now then we have a draw, 2 each. I haven't planned for a draw. Oh well, we'll find another task later. Thanks, Will. Together they have risen to the challenge of parenthood. From day one and their first night as new parents in St Peter's, when they had to contend with smelly kebab flavoured toots from the couple behind the curtain, to today. They dote on their girls and just want them to know life is richer and more rewarding than they could ever have imagined since you both arrived in the world. They've gained an in-depth knowledge of all things Disney, especially Disney princesses, amongst other things, and couldn't be happier that they get to share this with you two. But as we all know, not every aspect of a relationship is plain sailing. We all have our little foibles, shall we put it, the habits that drive our better half to distraction. So let's find out what theirs are. Joe is somewhat discombobulated by the nearly next 2 scenarios that play out daily. Things never quite make their way to their final destination. The recycling is left on the worktop outside of the recycling cupboard. Dirty laundry ends up next to the laundry basket. And the dirty plates end up stacked up above the dishwasher. So close, but yet so far. Stevie's put out that Jo never makes her own drinks. She always gets him to make them for her.
Yeah.
It's not that she's lazy, she just feels that drink always tastes better when someone else makes them. Just like sandwiches. Quite endearing niggles, to be fair. So if after all of these years, these are their only gripes, I feel that they are set for a happy and healthy future.
I'm still fuming about that.
So I can't go any further without mentioning the proposal. May 2021. Just as the country was coming out of the worst COVID restrictions, but wasn't quite yet fully open, our happy little family went on holiday to Norfolk with Rolo the cockapoo. They were enjoying a lovely chill breakaway before Sienna joined them. And on one particular sunny day, they were delighting in a round-trip train excursion from Wroxham to Aylsham on the Burr Valley Railway. After a wander round Aylsham, Jo noticed that Steve seemed to be a bit out of sorts, putting it down to him stressing that Ella had missed her afternoon nap and that they might have to contend with a grumpy toddler. She didn't question his off mood. Settling down to the journey and watching the luscious scenery roll by, Jo felt contented, especially when she looked over and saw Ella snuggled down in between her daddy and Rolo. Life was good, and she went back to watching the world outside of her window. Suddenly, her attention was brought quite abruptly back into the carriage, as out of the corner of her eye she saw Steve slipping off his chair. Thinking he was collapsing, she almost stopped breathing, but quickly realised that in fact he was slipping down onto one knee, holding Ella, who in turn was holding the box containing her simply timeless diamond solitaire ring. It took a moment for her to process what was happening and for her lungs to start working again, just in time for Steve to utter those important 4 words. Her response was obviously a resounding yes. We are here today after all. And everyone burst out crying, except for Rolo, who looked on confused as to why his humours were behaving in such a weird way, as they hugged, squeezed and cried, and admired Jo's lovely ring that Steve had lovingly placed on her 3rd finger, left hand. They celebrated with a visit to the farm shop next door to their holiday cottage, where they enjoyed a flat white each and a chat to the curious goats who were keeping them company, before retiring back indoors for an afternoon nap for Ella and some fizzy elderflower pressé for the grown-ups. But as they said at the time, to be honest, coffee and goats pretty much sums them up. The highlights of their years together so far have been the birth of their girls, their tight family unit that they have created, and they can only be matched by all the love and friendship that surrounds them today. And so, as thoughts inevitably turn to the future, it might be a bit of a cliche, but their goals and dreams are for that house in the country, to give their girls everything they need and more as they continue to grow as a family. And for Steve's business to go from strength to strength as they hope for that find. Life goals don't need to be complicated, but it sure is fun to share them with someone who's walking side by side with you every step of the way, and it all sounds pretty darn perfect to me. Louise, please join me.
So I was very kindly asked to do the reading, which I've agreed to.
Oh, thank you.
So, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. You've got troubles? I've got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together and see it through, because you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Some folks might be a bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe. But none of them will love you the way I do love you. It's you and me, girl, as the years go by. Our friendship will never die. You're going to see it's our destiny. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's you and me, girl, as the years go by. Our friendship will never die. You're going to see it's our destiny. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
Oh, thank you.
A marriage, as most of us understand it, is the voluntary and full commitment of two adults to each other. It is made in the deepest sense to the exclusion of all others, and is entered with the desire, the hope, and the firm intent that it will last forever. Steve and Joe, you have come here today to declare and affirm your commitment and love for one another. As you stand before all those who care for you, claim their strength and love for you both, and drawing on the trust in which you have placed in me today, will ask you to speak in truth from your hearts your commitment to your marriage and to each other. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you, Steve, promise to be Harry's to Joe's Betty? Will you take her by the hand and go on big adventures with her? Will you promise to always hug and kiss, talk and listen, trust and appreciate, and respect and cherish Joe's uniqueness? Will you always be open and honest with her, support and comfort and strengthen her through life's joys and sorrows? And will you share all your hopes and dreams as you continue to build your lives together?
I will, yeah.
Do you, Joe, promise to be Betty to Steve's Harry? Will you lead him down the path of adventure? Will you promise to hug and kiss, talk and listen, trust and appreciate, and respect and cherish Steve's uniqueness? Will you always be open and honest with him, support, comfort and strengthen him through life's joys and sorrows? And will you share all your hopes and dreams as you continue to build your lives together?
I do.
Okay. So let's do something a little bit crazy, shall we? Steve, I'm going to start with you.
Joe, I love you from the first date we clicked, and the 12 years since we've achieved so much together. We've had many fun adventures and have created new routes at home for us and our beautiful girls. I promise to be there for you, to protect you, to make you laugh, and to be your best friend in marriage. Side by side, I look forward to watching the girls grow and creating a new family adventures and memories with my beautiful bride. I love you and I can't wait to be your husband.
I am so lucky to be marrying you today, and now you will no longer just be my friend or lover, but I can now proudly call you my husband. The last 12 years together have been the best 12 years of my life. However, as the wise Indiana Jones once said in The Riders of the Lost Ark, it's not the years, honey, it's the mileage. And boy, have we put in some miles together. Today, our biggest accomplishment together have been our amazing girls, and they look at you with so much love and respect, and I am eternally grateful that you have decided to take on the job of fatherhood without hesitation. Seeing you with them makes me love you so much more. I am the luckiest woman. Together we have already built a lovely life together, and I can't wait for our journey and growth to continue until we ourselves become old and dusty antiques. I promise to support you, cherish you, love you, surprise you, make you laugh, and to stay faithful to you for the rest of our lives. You are my soulmate.
And their vows are not complete without some promises to their precious girls.
Ella and Sienna, our darling daughters, our sunshine, our everything. Your laughter, your smiles, fills our hearts with love.
With each passing day, you both grow, you bloom. In your eyes, we see our hopes and dreams coming true.
Our precious daughters, a treasure untold. We are forever grateful to watch your stories unfold.
Daddy and Mummy are so proud of you both, and we love you to the moon and back. We vow to support you, hold you, and forever love you.
Well done. Do we have the rings? Taskmaster time again. Before Steve and Joe can exchange their rings, they have to solve the ring box puzzle. Earlier, I placed their rings in this puzzle box. Let's see how long it takes you to open them. But if all else fails, just like Harry and Betty, we have some curtain rings.
Did you want a quote?
What's the clue?
Just want to know if you want one.
He's the brain, so I'm just...
No. What's your birthday? Taken.
It's upside down.
Sweet. There you go.
Just want to take them out of the plastic bag and put them on your hand. Well done.
Oh dear.
Okay. So these rings will forever show the world that you are one. Wedding bands being a perfect circle have no beginning and no end. They capture the full range of the ceremonial, symbolic and communal aspects of marriage and serve as a constant reminder. They combine the art of the jeweller, the reverence of the betrothed and the beauty of love and partnership in a single resonant precious symbol. Steve, as you place her ring on the tip of Joe's finger, please repeat after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a token of my love and affection,
as a token of my love and affection,
and as a reminder of the promise
and as a reminder of the promise
we have made to each other.
we have made to each other.
Wear this ring with happiness and pride,
Wear this ring with happiness and pride,
now and always.
now and always.
Okay.
Let me get it on.
Joe should place his ring on the tip of Steve's finger. Please repeat after me. Thanks.
Thank you.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a token of my love and affection,
as a token of my love and affection,
and as a reminder of the promise
and as a reminder of the promise
we have made to each
we
other.
have made to each other.
Wear this ring with happiness and pride,
Wear this ring with happiness and pride,
now and always.
now and always.
Okay.
Nice and tight.
Beautiful people, in a second I'm going to step out of the way for that photo and ask Steve and Joe to seal the deal with a kiss. But first, a question to you all. Will you all promise to continue to love, support them as they embark on this new adventure called marriage? What did you think? Bit louder?
Louder, yeah.
Bit louder. That'll do. Stepping out of the way as I now invite you all to let the bells ring out as you shower your love on them and blow them your own kiss as Steve and Joe share their first kiss. I'm only going to give you this one because the others are a bit big. But these have been beautifully made by your bridesmaid.
Louise made that one.
And everyone, even the snail who was late, said, don't they look happy and don't they look great? This they agreed as they sprinkled confetti on Harry O'Hay and his beautiful Betty. Is the best wedding yet. The best wedding that no one will ever forget. And the bells, they all rang out so loud and so clear. Before everyone present let out yet another big cheer. Today is the start of an exciting chapter in your lives, both as a couple and as a family. Let the celebrations commence. Remember though, Joe, it's not now going to be so much easier booking holidays and flights because you all have the same surname. So without any further ado, let's start using that singular surname. Esteemed family, friends, scarecrows and wee beasties. They've been a long time in the making, but I'm thrilled to finally be able to introduce to you the all new Mr. and Mrs. Stubbs. Let the bells ring out once more. Whenever you're ready, yeah. No, don't do the confetti yet, don't do the confetti yet! Okay, everybody, do you want to come this way for the confetti? Bring the bells as well and the bubbles.
High as you can.
I've got the You just got yourself.
Can we stop for a kiss, please? Someone throw? Can someone throw?
Cool, okay.
Welcome, Mrs. Stubbs.
It's too late, it's too late. One last throw. Go. Do it again. Do it again. Throw again.